Erik ten Hag is not yet done with Jadon Sancho. And guys, he is planning for the second pursuit of this guy from Barcelona. Not only him, Jude Bellingham on the list too, to see it that he really lands him to Manchester United. He really wants to go ahead and really revolutionize or rejuvenate the midfield of Manchester United with classic players. Imagine Casemiro, Frankie de Jong, Jude Bellingham, that midfield three of Manchester United. Will even Bruno get a place to play? I doubt. So, welcome to United Matters channel. Erik ten Hag has really gone ahead to send a warning to Harry Maguire to be in my team. You have to fight for the position. You just don't deserve to be in my team. You have to show me that you're really ready to be into my starting 11. Ten Hag sends a warning to a player known as Harry Maguire. Škriniar to Manchester United. Fabrizio Romano has come out and really green-lighted us onto what this is all about and where Škriniar is heading to. And lastly, Phil Jones. Ten Hag has really gone ahead to tell us about Phil Jones. I think this is the second time he's talking about Phil Jones because he talked about him towards the submission of the squad in the UEFA Europa League, where he said Tuanzebe has been included into the squad because he's expected to return much earlier, but Phil Jones, he has no return date from his injury. So he has said lots about Phil Jones, lots about Harry Maguire, as far as those two defenders are really concerned at Manchester United. So Rokan David is my name. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel because the more you subscribe, the more you guys are really going to get entertained and really taken to the world of knowledge, knowing what United is all about. Because we bring you these stories and we tell you where we are getting them from. So this is United Matters channel. And remember, today is match day. After this video, an hour from now, by the time of recording, we are going to go live and do what we call the match day live or the match build up with the confirmed team news coming in from Old Trafford. But one story that I want to throw in for you that is going to be part of the match day live or match build up. Jadon Sancho has not been seen in the players arriving at Old Trafford. That's it. We've seen players. All of the players are almost available. Martial has also not been evidenced, but the rest of the players have been seen arriving. Sancho is out of this game. Maybe, if at all, will come in later, but I believe no one has really gone ahead to give a glance at Sancho arriving at Old Trafford. Now, let's get into the story of Frankie de Jong. You know, this pursuit of Frankie de Jong really annoyed us a lot. You know, your team chasing for a player for 5 months and they couldn't bring him. Richard Arnold, the CEO of Manchester United, the football director of United, that's Joe Mota, traveled to Catalonia, that is Barcelona, and came out with nothing. They agreed a deal with Barcelona. Barcelona couldn't convince the player to join Manchester United because they didn't want to pay him his money that was demanding them close to 17 million euros. And Frankie de Jong right now is the most highly paid Barcelona player. He's earning £485,000, not 485,000 euros per month, sorry, per week. That's the amount of money he earns. And Barcelona is really wanting to offload some players to reduce its wage burden because its wages are really out of proportion and they've been blown through the roof. And obviously, they want some players to leave. And if I told you to talk about some players they can think about letting go, I think Frankie de Jong is one of those because he doesn't want to reduce his amount of money. Reason being, he took a pay cut in COVID and they promised him that we are going to be paying you back your salary in the next 2 years by doubling your weekly wages. That's it. So he's trying to get a compensation of the amount of money that he got that he didn't get during the COVID time. Now, Samuel Lucas, he's a United correspondent for the Manchester Evening News. He has told us that if Erik ten Hag open to a second pursuit of Barcelona midfielder Frankie de Jong, who Manchester United agreed an 85 million fee for in the summer, the club have also not ruled out another attempt to sign Jude Bellingham 3 years after he opted to join Borussia Dortmund. Let's talk about Frankie de Jong first. One, today Barcelona have been playing. Barcelona have won by 1-0. They've been playing a team known as, the team has been called Girona. And when you look at the starting 11 of Barcelona, Frankie de Jong has played today in the midfield three of Busquets and Gavi. obviously going ahead to register what we call an entire 90 minutes. He's proving to Xavi that however much you wanted me to be sold in the summer, I think I'm the most useful player in your midfield. If you play me with Sergio Busquets and maybe another player, or Gavi or who, we play better. If you play Sergio Busquets with Gavi and Pedri in that midfield three, you don't get the results you deserve. So you should be playing me. And that has really caused a stance at Barcelona of not selling this player. But don't underestimate Erik ten Hag leaning and really non-stopping to push for the signing of Frankie de Jong. One will ask, why is Erik ten Hag so much in the pursuit of Frankie de Jong? The reason is simple. Samuel Lucas, 1.5 months back before we went to the World Cup, confirmed to us that Erik ten Hag had a private chat with Frankie de Jong, and Frankie de Jong had given him green light to really tell United to come and sign him. As I've told you at the beginning of the video, that the player wanted to come. United agreed a fee with Barcelona, 85 million euros, 75 million euros guaranteed fees, plus 10 million euros of add-ons. Then the problem was Barcelona had to pay Frankie de Jong his money he was demanding them. During COVID, he took a pay cut. He was earning £350,000 a week. He took a pay cut to earn close to £200,000 a week. So by doing so, he had to be compensated his money by almost doubling his wage. You get? Now, that's the amount of money that he was demanding Barcelona, and the deal never came to materialization. But United had agreed a deal with Barcelona, and Barcelona couldn't really pay Frankie de Jong. So, because Ten Hag had a private chat with Frankie de Jong, and Frankie de Jong told him, I'm willing to come. That's why he told the board by the time that don't go in for another player. First, get me a player known as Frankie de Jong. And this is where sometimes you don't go wrong with the board, because for us, we know the board of United, they don't do deals quick. But after Ten Hag told them that if at all you've agreed a fee with Barcelona or Frankie de Jong, and it's now between Barcelona and Frankie de Jong, let's go in and really bring in signings. They brought in Malacia, Lisandro Martinez, Eriksson, you get Anthony, Casemiro, and obviously till the deadline day, we never delivered Frankie de Jong at Manchester United because Barcelona couldn't pay his amount of money. But this confirms to you that if at all Ten Hag is still hesitant to bring Frankie de Jong at Manchester United, it's a message to you that he's having a green light given to him by Frankie de Jong that I would love to come to Manchester United. And secondly, when you look at how United is performing, Frankie de Jong would 100% love to join Erik ten Hag because he knows that he is the missing piece in that midfield of Manchester United. That's it. He ticks all the boxes because he plays on all three positions of the midfield. He can play as a CDM, he can play as a box-to-box midfielder, he can play as a central attacking midfielder. That's the Frankie de Jong for you. And that is why Erik ten Hag is really in for the second pursuit of this player. Reason being, when Casemiro is away, Frankie de Jong will come in through and get the job done. When Eriksson is away, Frankie de Jong will get the job done. When you want to rest Bruno or rotate any of those threes, Frankie de Jong will come in and get the job done. Frankie de Jong can also play as a central defender. So Ten Hag knows a lot about this man, and he groomed him way back at Ajax until when he's here. So he wants to go in for him for the second time. Now, I don't know whether the second try will go on and really be positive, but Barcelona are really resting in debts. They are resting in debts. They can't pull out any lever, and to register Gavi and Alejandro Balde, they need to sell Frankie de Jong. And if you don't sell Frankie de Jong, that means you'll be paying him close to 500,000 euros per week. That is really a very huge burden, meaning that they'll either choose to sell Frankie de Jong or not to register Balde and Gavi. And when you look at those two players, they are really valued highly. That's it. So Gavi and Balde will have to be registered, and I think there will be a loop, there will be a hole that will let Frankie de Jong join Manchester United, I believe. First and foremost, we have to qualify for the Champions League. If we qualify for the Champions League, that will be a go given to us to get in a player known as Frankie de Jong, because our bargaining power would have increased. That's it. So Ten Hag is going in for Frankie de Jong in the summer for the second time. I don't know whether you agree with him or not, but looks like he wants the player back. Then Samuel Lucas told us that the club have also not ruled out another attempt to sign Jude Bellingham 3 years after he opted to join Borussia Dortmund. Now, for Jude Bellingham, it's all about the English brand. I've heard people say that Bukayo Saka is the most talented English player alive. I told them, guys, don't misguide people. You get? I want facts put here. People are talking about Bukayo Saka as one of the best wingers in his age in the world. I doubt it. There are very many wingers who are really performing at huge levels. You get? So, for Jude Bellingham, to me, I believe he's the best talented English player right now. Very many teams are really looking up to him. Liverpool want to sign him. Madrid want to sign him. But I believe if we get new owners in time and we go ahead and we talk to Borussia Dortmund, we can land the signing of this player. Why? We now have a manager that cannot see him not coming to Manchester United. The reason as to why he never came to Manchester United was because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was not known at grooming players. But Jude Bellingham will know that I'm in the right hands of Erik ten Hag and I have to come to Manchester United. So imagine a midfield of Jude Bellingham, Frankie de Jong and Casemiro. That will be the best midfield in the world because all of those three are really one of the best in the world as far as really doing that, as far as doing that job is concerned. Secondly, one will ask how much will be needed. Jude Bellingham, close to 130 million euros. Frankie de Jong, close to 85 million euros, meaning that those two could cost United 200 million euros. That's it. But I told you why this is possible. There are players that I believe Ten Hag is going to sell. When you have to bring in Frankie de Jong and if you have to bring in Frankie de Jong and which guy and Jude Bellingham, that means Scott McTominay is leaving at £30 million to Newcastle. Maybe even Donny van Beek will be sold at like £30 million. Then Maguire will be sold at like 40. That is 60 already. There is Dean Henderson to be sold. That is £130 million. So it shows you that in the sale of only 3-4 players, we can raise 150 or 160 million euros. The amount of money that we can use to bring in these two players. I believe that would have been the plan of United because we need to make some sales because we are bringing in Frankie de Jong, who plays close to all positions in the midfield. That means you have to offload. You get? The same applies to Jude Bellingham. You have to offload players at the club. So I believe that pursuit of Jude Bellingham and Frankie de Jong would have been the best. But let's wait and see how everything goes on because it looks like Ten Hag might shift from making a striker his priority target to Frankie de Jong, because if you tell Erik ten Hag at Frankie de Jong and his striker tell you get me Frankie de Jong, I believe when I'm having de Jong, I can turn Bruno into a false number 9, or lead Martial to the line, or Weghorst, and then he can really be getting services from Frankie de Jong because Frankie de Jong is really good at really creating chances and playing that ball from the back. Let's go to Škriniar. A story was really told to us, I think around yesterday, that United tried an offensive to bring Milan Škriniar this winter. That is Lipiqui. That is it. And Fabrizio Romano has gone ahead and told us that is a lie. Despite rumors, United are not in talks to sign Milan Škriniar this month. The player's priority is PSG. And I believe that anyone who is talking about Škriniar to Manchester United, he's just wanting to get likes. Why? United are really looking at different players altogether, according to me. For defenders, it's Kim Min-jae. You know that very well. They're looking for a defender known as Kim Min-jae and Julian Timber. Those are the options of Erik ten Hag. If at all he happens to let Maguire and Lindelof go, then he'll go in for either to instill there Tuanzebe, if at all he really approves to him that he's really a very good defender. Then, if not that, he'll go in for 2 central defenders. That is Kim Min-jae and Julian Timber, because he's willing to go out and really bring in Julian Timber. So, Škriniar is going to PSG. That's it. Everything has been agreed, and they are going to pay money to Inter Milan because the player turned down their contract proposal, I think, from the summer. If they don't sell him now, the player is going to go all out on a free. So, PSG is getting Škriniar, one of those players that has been on the world market for so long. He put himself in the shop window for many years. Even Mourinho wanted him from 2016-2017. United have been chasing after this lad, but obviously he is going to a side known as PSG. So, about Harry Maguire, Ten Hag told us the following about the skipper of the club. Maguire has to fight for his position and things can change. Sometimes also really quickly. I think he's making progress, but it's up to him. Maguire, he's not fifth choice, but it's up to him. I have to say he's training very well. Now, in all what he's saying, he's telling Harry Maguire that to come into my team, you need to be fitting the criteria. But the criteria that really make you a starter or put you in a contention to be in the starting 11 of Erik ten Hag are those things that Maguire will never get. One, you need to be agile. You need to be quick and fast. That is it. And he's not that kind of player. Secondly, his game reading is poor. And don't come here and tell me that at the age of 29-30, Harry Maguire is going to learn anything new in the game of football. I doubt. Thirdly, his passing is really abysmal. You know, when you look at how Varane passes, and especially Lisandro Martinez from the back, you can't talk about Harry Maguire and put him in this equation. So it shows you that Ten Hag has already made a decision on letting Harry Maguire go, and I think he's going to leave because these two will never be on the same page. But today I expect him to start in the game of Reading because it's an FA Cup tie against a championship side. If at all Maguire can't come in and put a performance in such games, then he doesn't deserve to be at Manchester United because these are the games that Maguire is led to play. That's it. And you're going to see how serious Ten Hag is, that he's going to give him a game today, but on Wednesday, in the semi-final against Nottingham, he'll go back to Lisandro Martinez and Rafael Varane. That's it. Or Lindelof, because Lindelof is really ahead of Harry Maguire. And when you look at the lineup of these defenders of United and how the choices are, Maguire is almost like sixth fiddle because Varane 1, Lisandro Martinez 2, Luke Shaw 3, Lindelof 4. I bring Tuanzebe ahead of this guy. I believe if at all Tuanzebe trains very well, he has every aspect to make it to the Erik ten Hag squad. Yet a player called Maguire can't really have the aspects that Tuanzebe is really having, because if you saw Tuanzebe in Paris try and marking out and silencing Neymar and Kylian Mbappe, he has the pace, he's good at game reading, and obviously he just have to go ahead and really improve onto him not getting injured every time the manager needs him when he's not available. Let's go to Phil Jones, another calamity at the club. Ten Hag has said, I can't say Phil Jones will play again this season. What I can say is he's not available for training and hasn't been since the first day of the training this season. Then the opportunity that you recover quickly also goes. So it shows you that he's out of the plans of the manager. And that shows us that on Phil Jones leaving this season, there has not been a decision taken about that. For the summer, the whole season, he has been injured. So looks like for Phil Jones, it's end of days for him at Manchester United. Though Ten Hag doesn't want to come out and really portray it out, but it's really end of days for Phil Jones at Manchester United. Let no one lie to you that there is some green light that they're going to give him a new contract, because his contract is running out in the summer. He's earning close to £140,000 a week. That's a lot of money. We need some wage waivers at the club, and that is one we should really first throw under the bus. So, your thoughts on to Erik ten Hag? Open for the second pursuit of Frankie de Jong are welcome in the comment section below. Jude Bellingham too, United feel like they should go all out for him. That shows you that maybe the new owners are really going to come in and inject some good money in the club of Manchester United. Thirdly, Škriniar, would you love him at Manchester United? But he's going into PSG. And Harry Maguire, do you think Ten Hag has Harry Maguire in his plans? According to what he has really said about him, in the comment section below, I would like to see how you guys really comment about that. And lastly, tell me what you think about Phil Jones and his departure from Manchester United, and his contract runs down in the summer. Guys, thank you very much for watching it through. Rock and David is my name. We are returning with the match build-up. United versus Reading, game happening at Old Trafford. I hand you over in the mighty hands of the Almighty Lord. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.